Hello, hello, beautiful bosses, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I'm really excited because we have Michelle Ramulete from Be My Belle Designs. She's actually located in Central California, and she is one of the original students from the Craft Academy when we first started it in January of 2021. I'm really excited to talk today because we are talking about money mindset and how much she has grown in her business, in her mindset. And we're going to talk about all the good things. And I know that this is going to be really educational for you. So please, please, please watch the whole thing and let us know what you think. So Michelle, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Rosie. So my name is Michelle Ramulete from Be My Belle Designs. That's my business name. I come from a multi-generational family of artists on my dad's side. Santiago family. I credit my grandpa, my uncles, my dad, my brother. And I really didn't start, I was drawing growing up, but I really, didn't really see myself. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself when I was growing up in my skills. And as an adult, I started kind of scrapbooking and then like making cards and giving it to family members. And they're like, oh, this is cute. So I thought, maybe I should do something with this, So then I kind of started charging a little bit here and there, and they're like, we're willing to pay you. I'm like, great, okay, So I kind of started like 2018, I want to say, but I was really lost, and I really didn't know what I was doing, like business wise, and then I found you guys. I found you. You found me actually, I believe, on through Instagram, and you reached out to me. And at the time, I was like, I don't know, Rosie. I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know. And obviously, at the time, I didn't see the investment in it and what's to come. Because I was a newbie, I was just kind of not knowing what to do and kind of naive about a lot of things. And obviously I wasn't sure how to run a business, but I just kept practicing. I kept going for it. And through your class, I really was able to learn a lot of skills on how to run the business.
So tell us where your position was, where your business was in January of 2021, like where you were exactly in your business, how much you were charging, what you were selling, all the things.
So at the time I had been doing vendor markets or pop-ups, if you want to call it. People call it different things in different states or cities, but we have some really cool ones, outdoor ones, with COVID and everything. That was pretty cool. So I was like I was lugging around my wooden signs that wouldn't really sell because people want to bargain and they're just going to go to the craft store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and get something for 50% off. So, and I was kind of doing wooden ornaments and that seemed to do well, but the wooden signs, I would just keep bringing back and I was just not really in a good place. And I was really kind of deflated when I joined your class in January 2021. And I was kind of stuck in that comparison trap. Oh man, she's got 1,000 followers. Oh man, she's at 800, and I'm like, here I am with my 200 and something. No joke. I was like at 200 something followers. And I'm like, woe is me. I was, and I know it kind of showed, I'm sure you saw it a little bit. And well, I've shared with you all my insecurities and all that. Yep. So, but at the time I was feeling very small and I was stuck in that comparison trap. I was charging I was okay with taking work for like $25 or I'll make you a wooden sign, but I didn't think about, wait a minute, but I'm using these pens. I'm using my time, the rulers and all the materials that come with it. And this thing is actually not cheap. My craft box that I have showcased on Instagram.
Yeah,
it's very expensive.
That's like a $3,000 investment or something, right?
$3,000 investment. And I'm like, well, I'm not thinking about all this, that I've put so much money and time and not just the materials, but I have to think about, okay, well, I'm going to check things out on Pinterest. I'm going to talk to you and see what we like. So we see what you like. And all that takes time. And I really didn't think about it plus I live in a small town where everybody kind of just wants a discount. So I was okay with like charging for that wooden sign, like 25, you know,
Hmm.
30 maybe. And none of these, what you taught us factored in.
Yeah. So you brought up a lot of really good points in that short little excerpt that you just said. A couple of things that I wanted to kind of note is one, Michelle is in a small town in Central California, in Fresno. When people think of California, they think of like LA, Hollywood, San Francisco, and there's just so much business and stuff like that. And for her, she really came into the Craft Academy with that like small town mindset of no one's going to want to pay more than $50, or no one's going to want to pay $100 for this. So that was one of the challenges that we definitely had to get her over. And for us, one of the biggest things to mention is that we always put a $50 minimum on all of our orders, whether, it could be like one small little wine glass, we will definitely charge at least $50 or more than that. She sent me this awesome message that just really resonated with me and made me feel like a proud mama moment. And she said, I'm getting really busy. Now I get it. Back in January of 2021, when we first had our cohort, Tasha was saying, I don't do work under $50. At the time, she says she didn't understand. And now she's getting a ton of engraving events. I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm knocking them out today and tomorrow. And for me, that was such a growth moment for Michelle, because she literally came in charging $20 to $25 per order. And it could be like a huge chalkboard mural where she's only charging like the very, very, very bare minimum that might pay for the chalkboard and the markers. Like it didn't pay for her rent, couldn't pay for her gas to get the thing, didn't pay for the beautiful $3,000 furniture that everybody wants, so the fact that she sent me that message less than a year, from her joining the program and less than a year of the program being in action just shows like how much she's grown throughout the year. So I also wanted to kind of ask you your position.
Gosh, I think, just experiencing it, following all your tips and tricks with the social media, putting yourself out there, Yelp, Thumbtack, and making your own website, even though it's not looking like that, it's, you're not happy with it. That really, I realized it started to bump me up and people started finding me. And then I'm like, and then I'm experiencing it myself and I'm feeling, oh, okay. And then I'm like, oh yeah, then that is not enough. I'm undervaluing myself, my time, my experience, my expertise, all that. And so, yeah, it's changed tremendously. And now I'm like, oh, a $50 minimum's actually, like you said here in the message, it ain't no thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, all right. I mean, that's gonna be a proud mama moment because I was like, gosh, like Rosie's suggestions really work because I mean, a year later, I've already made my website. I've put myself out there. I just finished my brand deck, but now I can send stuff quick to companies. If I want to reach out to 10 companies, it's like quick and easy,
Mm-hmm.
and at least I have a website to show off or a nice brand deck that's simple, but it's something for them to see, and it's just really, I mean, the program itself, it's a wonderful, the Craft Academy is a great investment because, through your experience, your tips for us, it's really helped me so much. So thank you.
Good, of course. Well, I am just so thankful that you even trusted me back in January of 2021. I think that our program and our family has grown so much, and we continue to support them no matter what position their business is in. For her, when Michelle first joined, she was just starting her business. She didn't really know what she was doing. And with the Craft Academy, she's been able to scale it. And, she's been reaching out to companies and has her website. And she just got featured on, was it ABC News?
Yeah. So at the market, I wrote a blog. Actually, I'm going to announce on Instagram pretty soon that I just wrote a brand new blog, and I talk about the experience of getting featured for ABC 30 local news. And I was at that market feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't going to work because I'm kind of done with it. I'm learning techniques from you guys. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Just go for it. Said a prayer, go for it. Like, it's expensive, but you were talking about a combination. Someone asked you, hey, how did you get so successful, Rosie? And you were saying it's a combination of hard work and luck in being at the right place at the right time. Well, sure enough, that's what happened at the Old Town Flea Market in Clovis. And I was there and a gal came, bless you. So a gal came up to me. So a gal came up to me and I didn't even know who she was. But sure enough, she worked for, because I don't watch TV anymore. I'm a busy mom. I hardly sit on my couch. This is my husband's chair, short people problems, but, but anyway, and she was so nice. I made an ornament for her and I sent her off her merry way. And oh my gosh, she called me weeks later and I got featured and I got more business from that. So being at the right place at the right time, obviously working your hardest.
There's a couple of things in there that I wanted to kind of touch on. You mentioned that you are a mom and that you really just put yourself out there. So those two things in itself, I have found are very common excuses to not reach out to somebody, to not be able to invest in a program like the Craft Academy. So what advice do you have for people who have children, but also want to build a brand new business, like a brand new calligraphy business for themselves?
It's so hard. Every mom is different. Every situation is different. I also have a blended family. I mean, my husband's kids are older though, but if you have the motivation for something, you're going to make time for it. You know what I mean? So I know every mom is busy. I know it. I feel ya. But I'm fortunate that I work part-time, see? But even with that, I have to be smart about, okay, what can I cut out? What can I do for myself? How can I still be a good mom and spend time with my kids, but yet, find the time and, really compartmentalize things and just really have a schedule and try to stick to it. And, take care of yourself. Mental health matters. I always say that, to people. But it took a long time. It's such a learning curve. It took a long time for me to get where I'm at. And I'm fortunate that I have a wonderful husband, and he's the breadwinner. But with that, it's been so cool because I work part-time, I have a day job, but I also do this now.
If you had to compare your January 2021 income to your most recent month income, where would you say you are and how much have you actually grown between that point financially?
I don't have an exact amount, but I mean, gosh, I was probably making a quarter of what I'm making now, right? I mean, if you can kind of give it a fraction, because I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't, putting myself out there to be found by people who are willing to pay for my craft, who are wanting that elevated gifting, who want something special for their family and friends, you know what I mean, who are willing to pay what I'm worth.
Do you still feel like the income that you're making reflects the small town mindset of what you had before, or have you kind of like outgrown that exponentially and you're like bringing in all the things?
It's evolved. And so March, I promised myself I'm going to change my pricing sheet. And, I'm going to up to like $15 a word for the engraving instead of 10, then my minimum of 50. I'm going to up that. And I'm still debating how. I kind of want to do it slow because it's Fresno. It's not LA. But but you were talking about this at the recent coaching call. Is that what we call it? Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and stretch that pricing muscle. So I'm learning I got to stretch that pricing muscle. And you know what? This is something I learned. So the people that paid me in December who loved my work gave me tip. And
nice.
I'm like, yeah, no, I can up it like a little bit, like $10, because they gave me a $10 tip. Like, two people
That's
did. And
awesome. Yeah.
thank you so much, Like, oh my gosh. And I gave them like little cards, and I gave like little free paper clip, because there's like these cute little
Yeah, that
paper clips.
handmade, like
Yeah,
the special touch that you get from a handmade item is just so
right,
special. And that's why I really think that calligraphy is never going to go out of style. People ask
right.
me so often, like, do you think it's going to be this just as big, in 5 to 10 years? Yes, yes. Why wouldn't it be? Right?
There's
Because that
always,
that
yeah,
handmade touch is just so special. It's not, you cannot replace that with the machine. Like, there's
right,
no way. So
right.
okay, so the next question that I had for you, um, if you had to like do kind of like a what if situation, like what if you did not invest in the Craft Academy, where do you think your business would be at today?
I would still be going to these markets, hoping and praying that I get more customers, and probably frustrated. I mean, I would dare to say I might even just say, forget it,
Hmm.
and just do this as a hobby,
Hmm.
you know, and just invest my time in my day job, and, go to conferences. I mean, not that I don't love my job. I love my job as a sign language interpreter, but I probably would have just be where I was at, really stuck, you know, um, and barely making anything. I mean, thank goodness for my loving husband. I mean, he just loves that this brings me joy, this giant craft box. But and yeah, I'd be happy making for family, but then there'd be like kind of like a void, that
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
that empty void that
Yeah,
right.
that's a
So,
very powerful
mhm.
thing that you've just expressed. Like, that makes my heart so full that I was able to help you create the business of your dreams and continue to spread your art and your joy to the world. So if you had to give any kind of like special words of advice to any new calligraphers, anyone who could be looking into starting a calligraphy business, or someone who has already started a calligraphy business but doesn't feel like they're where they want to be, what kind of words of wisdom would you provide them?
Gosh, I would say do a lot of self-reflection, you know. Um, what is it that's hindering you from moving forward? And if this is your dream, why aren't you chasing it? What are the things? What are the roadblocks? And can you and reassess those roadblocks and say, is it really that, or is it my insecurity, creeping in, or my lack of confidence in myself, or am I, just making, oh, I don't have time as an excuse, you know what I mean? Because remember, again, if you're motivated to do it,
Yep.
if you have the motivation, you will find the time for it.
Yep.
And if you know this is going to bring you joy and happiness, and you're going to see all these happy faces, loving your work, then why not? I
Mm-hmm.
say go for it. Um,
Yeah,
and
and that's one of the things that we really touch on in the first module. It's literally called millionaire mindset, and that really helps to get you from, your, in business there are high moments and then there's low moments, right? It's like a wave that you're constantly riding. And how do you get yourself into a higher wave if you're at the bottom, right? And so that's kind of one of the things that we really talk about and we really emphasize, especially from the very beginning, so that you do have the strength to continue building your business no matter what stage you're at. And then I guess the last thing I wanted to kind of close with is, what would you tell calligraphers who could be struggling with their own pricing issues? What would you tell them to do in order for them to really charge their full value as an artist?
I think really, doing your research, really joining a group like this, the Craft Academy, because no man's an island. I know that's an old expression, but, it's like, because then you can learn from other people who've had the same struggles as you have.
Mhm.
And having that, you can collaborate with people. You have that group of people who support you when you are struggling, like what's wrong? What am I not seeing? Because a lot of times we get stuck in our own perspective, in our own mindset that, and no one's telling us, we're giving us advice or whatever. But if you have a group of, professionals in your, in your corner, then you can see another perspective that you might have not seen when you were stuck in that rut,
Mhm.
whatever it is, whether it's pricing or confidence, or I'm going to these markets and nothing's happening. I'm not getting customers. What am I doing? What should I, all of that. And, having a coach has been a tremendous help, to get you out of that. So,
Yeah, and having you in the group has been so invaluable.
oh, thank
I
you.
just am so grateful to have you in the family because you really trusted me when I didn't really know what I was doing. And
I think coach
like in
really
the
came for
beginning,
all
I was like, am I even like qualified to teach? And now like to see your growth of your business and just knowing that you went from like charging $20 for something to charging like $50 to $75 for some,
Yes.
things now, it's so amazing to see. And it just goes to show and prove that the program works, and
Yeah.
having a squad behind you
Yeah.
is so invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah. And even that, because you had said, put yourself out there. And I was like, Thumbtack actually is not popular in Fresno. It's more Yelp. But I guess what? I put myself in both. And then Thumbtack featured me on their page.
Yeah. Yep.
That was pretty
I
awesome.
remember that.
You know what I mean? But all that stuff that we do bumps you up and makes the Google crawlers find you, like you were saying.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. We do a
So,
huge module on websites and SEO and all the things,
yeah.
and really putting yourself out there. And that's one of the things that really hold other people back too, is
Mhm.
scared to put themselves out there, scared to like market yourself, scared to tell the world what you do. So if you don't tell anyone that you're a calligrapher, how are they supposed to know to hire you?
Yeah.
Another mindset thing, like we're like huge on mindset, so we're always talking about mindset this, mindset that. So just having, so we meet 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, for an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many questions there are, and we just literally talk about everything. And that is just so powerful and helpful to the community, because our other communities will benefit from that too. So the Craft Academy is more than just a coaching program. It's a family. It's uplifting the community in the calligraphy world, and making sure that people are charging their value, making sure that they're finding the niche, and really vocalizing what their art and what their business is about. And
Right.
you being one of the original students is so special to me. So thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on to the YouTube channel. I know you were a little nervous about this, but you did amazing. Tell us, and anyone who else could be watching the video, tell us where they can find you, where they can follow you, and maybe learn a little bit more from you.
Well, it's just my name, Be My Belle Designs. So that's my IG handle. But BeMyBelleDesigns.com is the name. And I'm here in Central Valley, in Fresno, Clovis to be exact.
So I will link all of that in the notes below. Definitely check out Michelle at Be My Belle Designs. If you have any kind of questions about being in a small town, pricing, or even the Craft Academy, feel free to reach out to her. She is an open book. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.